or the same level of respect in return. And that may not be true. That's always a good line. I might be reading that completely wrong, but I wanted you to know that that's where that came from me. I stand by what I said about, wanting more than that when you respond. But the way I reached out, I'm not proud. The way I said that, I'm not proud of. But I wanted you to know where it was coming from. Every second that goes by is just another moment to show who you are, how much you love someone, what your boundaries are, what you believe in, what kind of relationship you want to create. And so, but every time we're hung up on a mistake we've made or something someone else has done or whatever, we're not living in the moment of what can be made beautiful now.
I love that. And when it comes to relationships and when it comes to making the right selection, because I do think, kind of going back to what we were saying about if someone doesn't have a growth mindset, if they can't have these conversations, then sometimes it becomes, a dead end. So when it comes to selection and you're choosing somebody to be with, how do you know if it's them and the timing, or if it's you and them together?
I've come to believe that timing is pretty paramount to these things. There's wiggle room in there. You can be kind of ready, thinking, your life has shifted, and you meet someone who pushes you over the edge, and you go, wow, okay, and you evolve. You have a growth spurt a little quicker than you would have had if you hadn't met them. I don't have too much faith in relationships where the timing is horrible and someone is absolutely not ready and someone is adamant against a relationship and someone comes along to change their mind.
And you don't think in those moments they should tell themselves, well, maybe it's just timing and I should stay with them? Because I think that becomes a lot like, oh, well, maybe in a year or two when the timing is right for them.
Well, firstly, you staying with them isn't going to make them more ready. In some ways, you stunt their development by staying with them. For a lot of people, it keeps them in that phase of not being able to work through the things they need to work through in order to become ready. Now, look, that's fine. If you're a certain age where you're just enjoying being with someone and you're also willing to say, you know what, I'm happy to lose 3 years here. And I wouldn't see it as a loss because I just love this person and we're having a great time. And if at the end of 3 years they're still not in a place where they're ready, I've got plenty of time to go and do the things I want to do.
Do you think people actually say that? Or do you think like, oh, it was 3 years, and in 3 years you're like, but I've spent this long.
This is called the sunk cost bias or the sunk cost fallacy.
Right, pot committed.
Yeah, when we keep throwing good time after bad. The fallacy is that because I've invested this much time and energy, I now have to make it work. That is the easiest way to throw away your life. You mustn't. I can't stress this enough. People must not do this. You have to assume that what someone's telling you about what they want is the reality. If they're telling you they don't want to get married, or if they're telling you they don't want kids, or if they're telling you that they still want to play the field, you have to take that at face value. It doesn't matter how much you want the thing. It's not going to change because you want it more. Someone's not going to love you more because you love them more. It is a terrible, terrible wager that people make. People for whom it's the wrong time aren't even usually emotionally open enough to see the person in front of them for all that they are. You don't really know people because you don't really get to know people on that level. If you're not serious, if you're not genuinely looking to build something amazing, you can have a connection, you can have chemistry, you can even love a bunch of things about a person, but you're not as invested in knowing them, in their journey, in really building something deep together and uncovering more about each other and being curious about the deepest parts of them, you are closed off to a certain level of connection. So when you're with someone and you think they're in love with me, I'm in love with them, but they're just not ready, you're discounting the kind of relationship you would be in with them if they were a kind of person that was ready. It would be different to the one you're in right now. You're convinced this is a relationship that has the depth you're looking for. But if you're with someone who's not ready, they're holding a piece of themselves back still that you don't even know they're holding back, that you can't even feel they're holding back, because it's not visible and you can't know what they haven't shown you yet. I really believe that we should, if for anyone out there who is looking for a real relationship, you should prize meeting someone. I'm not saying go into every first date asking what are you looking for, but I am...
Really? You wouldn't? I think just naturally, I think I would have.
Well, you can actually say that everything's tone.
Yeah.
If you can say it in a very conversational way, like, you know, how's your experience on the apps? I don't know what you're looking for. Like, are you someone who's on the apps because you're excited about meeting someone special, or are you just having fun?
Yeah.
Like, you almost, when you're throwing out a serious question, you don't have to say it in a really serious way. Mm-hmm. You can ask a serious question in a casual way. Sometimes that's even nice from the point of view of, I want you to answer honestly. So I actually want you to be relaxed. Mm. And I want you to not feel like there's pressure in your answer. Maybe I don't even necessarily want you to know that there's a right answer right now. Mm. I just want you to talk to me. Just tell me about yourself. So it's not, I don't think you can't ask. I'm just, you know, it's not about, you don't have to put someone on interrogation in that first date. But I do think that we should be looking for someone that we know is actually open to a real relationship. And anyone else, it's a waste of time. Mm. But Matt, I met someone and they weren't ready and blah, blah, blah. And now they are and we're together and whatever. Good for you. That's great. You're the exception. Because for every one of you, I can list 20 people who staked their time and their lives on someone changing, and that person didn't change. Mm. Now, there's lots of nuance in this. If someone tells you, I'm not sure I'm ready, then you have to do some calculations. You have to say, okay, I like this person. They're saying they're not sure I'm ready. That's an immediate giant red flag. It's not them saying, by the way, I'm not sure I know you well enough yet. That's fine. Let's get to know each other better then. Yeah. If they're saying, I'm not sure I'm ready for a relationship, that is a giant red flag. They are telling you today, I am going to hurt you. In case you didn't hear, I am going to hurt you. They're telling you to your face that you are going to get your heart broken here. So you have to make a decision with that. Do I want to continue to invest in someone who says they're not sure they're ready for a relationship? Mm. Do you really want to do that? Now, you may say if you're 25 and you're like, well, whatever. Yeah. Then I'm just going to have fun and we'll see where this goes. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging that.
Right.
But if you find yourself at a stage in your life where you know you are ready for something real and you're excited about that, and you've got someone in front of you who isn't just assessing whether you're right for them, but is assessing whether a relationship is even exciting to them, why get into that situation? Why bother? Why spend the time? It's like someone on the street. It's hard enough to sell someone a car who wants a car because they have options, right? You want a car. Well, I'm in the Honda dealership. I'm trying to convince you that you want a Honda. Don't go to Ford. Hondas are great. This is going to last you forever and it's safe. And I'm going to take, don't go to, that's a hard enough job as it is. I'm already competing with every other car manufacturer in the world. And I'm not just competing with those, I'm competing with all the other dealers. I need my commission, exactly. But imagine walking up to someone on the street and trying to sell them a car when they don't even want a car. Mm. You're trying to sell them a Honda and they're going, but I don't want to drive. Mm. I'm not sure I even want to drive. I really like my bike. All your work is ahead of you just to get them to want a car. Now you've got to convince them to want a Honda.
And even that word that you said as well, by the way, convince, even that I would repeat to myself because I don't like how that would make me feel. If someone's with me, they should be with me because they want to, not because I've convinced them.
Yeah.
And even just that, even if I get the end goal of being with them, the path itself to get there is like night or day. It's like if they got there on their own, amazing, like Tom. But if I had to convince them and give them every reason why they should be with me, and they finally do, I'm never going to be secure. There's always going to be that complete insecureness.
A relationship's hard enough when you're excited about one.
Right, yes.
When you want one, it's hard enough. And the journey of going from being more excited about being single or not just wanting the hassle of a relationship and enjoying being your own, the journey of that to, I'm really open to a relationship. That's something that feels right to me in my life now. That's not an easy shift. That takes time and it takes growth and it takes having lived a little and having explored things and realized what it is you really want in life. That's not like a quick little, I woke up this morning and wanted a relationship. It's a shift in the way that I'm thinking about life and what's fulfilling in life. You really want to take on the role of making that shift for someone else. And you want to stake your time on that. Love isn't enough. It's not. Compatibility is crucial. Love isn't enough. You need compatibility too. And people throw away their lives on this notion of loving someone so much. I just love them so much, I couldn't let them go. And they were willing to sacrifice their life, their happiness, their soul, eroding their confidence in the process, because when you're not true to yourself and you're not making yourself happy and your needs aren't being met, you start to hate yourself, you resent yourself, and you loathe yourself even more because you can't walk away, and now that makes you feel like you're not strong. Eroding your sense of joy in life, praying, hoping that one day your needs will be met. You are in a relationship with the person you are with today. Period. That's who you're in a relationship with. And assume that the relationship you're in right now is the relationship you're going to be in forever. And if that's not tenable for you, get out. Leave that relationship. The relationship will change and evolve. Sure, all relationships do. Esther Perel said, some people have multiple partners or have multiple relationships in their lives. Other people have multiple relationships. It's just with the same person, right? And that's true. Even if we're with the same person, we're going to have many different relationships with that person. But assuming that the relationship that evolves is going to fit the template that you want for somebody else, that's fantasy. Jacob M. Broad said, consider how hard it is to change yourself and you'll realize how foolish it is to expect that you can change somebody else. We wake up in January and most of us want to go to the gym. Most of us want to lose a few pounds. Most of us want to get in better shape. And 3 weeks later, we're eating pizza and doing the same things we've always done. Right? That's how hard it is to change. It's hard to change when we want to change more than anything in the world. It's hard to quit smoking when you know you're going to die from smoking. So what's this arrogance that we think that we're powerful enough to make someone quit smoking who doesn't even want to quit? That we're powerful enough to make someone want a relationship who doesn't even want a relationship. It's not that there's never a chance that it could go in your favor. It's that you would be a fool to stake your time on the idea that it will go in your favor. And life is so painfully, painfully short. How much time do we have? You're 33, you'll never get 33 back again. You get to be 33 once. The decade of your 40s, you get to do it once. You don't get to come back and do your 40s again. Time is so short. And there are people I love in this lifetime more than anything who I wish I could have got to sooner and given them this information sooner. I say this so forcefully because there's someone watching this interview right now whose life can actually be saved by hearing this right now instead of not hearing it. That's why I do what I do. I'm sure it's why you do what you do. You know in your heart that if you can be a new piece of input at the right moment in someone's life. Someone's watching this right now, they just chose to watch this YouTube video. They didn't know you or they didn't know me, they like the title and they watched this YouTube video. But because they watched it, this will change the course of their life. Because they won't lie to themselves anymore. They've been in this situation with this guy who's been giving them the same line for 5 years about, I don't really know what I want, but she stays anyway because she loves him so much. Well, this might be the moment where she watches this video and goes, fuck this. This is not, I'm never again going to stake my life on the idea that this is going to change. Let me find someone who has the same outlook as me, who has the same goals as me. That's why I do what I do, because you can save someone's life by getting them the right message in the right moment. But people need to hear it. And to hear it, they need to know just how high the stakes actually are. There are things that are life and death decisions, not because making the wrong decision will literally kill you, but because it will be the death of the rest of your time in this world. It will be the death of your happiness. It will be the death of your soul. It will be the death of your confidence. And then what is life? What kind of life are we living? If the next 30 years play out with me being unhappy and me not having my needs met, I'm so afraid to leave. Well, be afraid of staying, because what kind of life are you going to have if you stay? The pain that you're in right now, you're going to feel pain either way. Leave or stay, you'll feel pain. You know, you'll feel pain if you leave. You will. You will. It's not you're going to leave and you're going to feel like you've done the wrong thing and you're going to be lonely and you're going to feel like you're never going to meet anyone again and you're going to be heartbroken. You're going to question yourself. You're going to doubt yourself. All of that is true. But you have all this pain staying here anyway. So at least have the pain that's a question mark. This pain is a period. It's not a question mark. At least leaving means possibility. Promise, hope, something different. My God. Be honest with yourself about how miserable something's actually making you. Whilst you're being honest about how much you love someone, about how much you know it's hard to let go, about how much you really care about them, be honest with yourself about how miserable you are too, because that's the part where people lie to themselves. And they lie to their friends and they put on a brave face. How's it going? Oh, it's good, you know. Yeah, everything's going okay. I'm okay. And they're miserable and they're anxious and they're depressed. Don't lie to yourself about that. Fine, give the relationship the honest try. Tell someone what you need. Tell someone what you want it to be. Give your all. See if it can be that. But stop lying to yourself if every time you turn the page, it's the same page of writing.
Dude, that was so passionate and beautiful. Where can people find you? What are you up to these days?